Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to the Sunless Skies. So I've been looking at the menu here, Abraham's Engineering in New Winchester, and thinking about weaponry. So right now we're mounting just front-facing weapons, and I've been thinking about the way I fight and how it is ill-suited to the task of defeating scribe spinsters, and I'm wondering if maybe a change of weapons is in order. I'm looking at this Cotterell and Heathersage Beulah, a short-range, rapid-firing gun capable of quick turnarounds. I think this might be the kind of gun the Dreadnoughts are mounting that turns independently of the train. One of those could be really, really useful for us, especially since I have a really hard time keeping the front of the train actually facing the enemy. Like, we're missing a lot of our mangonel shots. But I don't know for sure that this is the thing the Dreadnoughts mount, nor do I know how it's actually operated, even if it is. Like, I don't know if it auto-targets or if I have to do something. And we're not going to be here too much longer. I think we're heading to Albion pretty soon. So I'm not going to spend 830 gold on this. 830 sovereigns. Maybe. If we end up with 830 sovereigns beyond the price of our next locomotive, we'll see about that. But I'm thinking we might end up in London with access to better weapons before it is reasonable for us to buy this, and maybe we'll just buy some of those. I think beyond that, though, we're ready to move on, which means to Hybras. I know, I'm excited too. Right, there's nothing else that we need to do, really. I mean, we have other quests to do, but a lot of them are things we should go to Hybras first. So I'm debating whether we want to go through Skeen's Skein and the General's Weave, or whether we want to take the route around Chance's Gloom. I mean, we did only encounter the one spinster this way. Well, at first. And we can always just run past it, dock in Hybras. As far as I'm aware, enemies can't. Enemies don't move, even, while you're in a dock. It's like time is effectively frozen. And then we just run back. We're tougher now than we were last time. We're not actually better at fighting, really, but I can survive an extra hit or two. I think that's the plan. We're gonna come around from the east. So apparently, also I've been misunderstanding the fuel efficiency stat. I thought a higher number was better because I thought I remembered that stat being expressed to us as fuel efficiency, but what it really is like a fuel consumption factor, and higher is worse. So the locomotive we're looking at moving up to will consume more fuel than our current one, and in fact, the weight of our cargo is also affecting our fuel consumption rates for the worse. Too bad, like the weight of our crew and cargo, I should say. I don't necessarily need 16 crew members for what we're doing now, and I did consider having us just go down to the Somerset camp and potentially lose a bunch of crew right here at the beginning. But I think the right thing to do is just go to Hybras and get this over with. My goal here is to go to Hybras exactly once, never come back. And then I don't exactly know how stuff works from here, like whether we will be... okay, it's just a tackety. Hard to trust. They're going to crash into each other, even. I don't know how it goes if once we go to Albion we will stay there or even move on further. It might be the case that it doesn't make sense for us to come back. Okay, they would trade supplies for bronzewood, which I do not want to do. I don't need bronzewood as badly as I need supplies. You know, actually, trading supplies for bronzewood is probably a good idea. I'm just thinking, like, I need to be able to get to Hybras and back just in case. But bronzewood's pretty valuable. Even just turning around and selling the bronzewood would have been pretty good. Hold on, what was the journal quest that we had for the circus about getting back? Okay, the Leadbeater and Stainrod Nature Reserve is where the twin is. We've just been back to town, so we don't have a port report for the circus, so we'll just swing through here and grab one. We might find ourselves not in a state to come back right away, so make sure we have this now. And I don't think there's anything really worth doing here otherwise. May as well meet the new arrivals. Although I guess we're at 0 to... Yeah, this doesn't really do anything. We can listen to their stories, and it'll chill us out a little bit, but we're already at maximum chill. My understanding is that events like that will frequently be available. Or rather, will be available if we haven't been to a place recently, is maybe a better way to put it. I have some serious questions about this obelisk, but I also don't want to spend a lot of time around it. If I know anything at all about that, it is that we do not want to stay near it for very long. Man, my kingdom for a mini-map. Or like a navigator who actually does the duty of navigation, helping me navigate. This is a dead end. Porkery Cove. Well, at least we got a small amount of XP. So I guess we're gonna head around the bottom of this. It probably would have been okay to go through the wreck of the battle, because if it's just Reach Marauders up there, we can take them and actually come out ahead. Just like free stuff floating in space. But we only have so much fuel, and I think taking the route around through the battlefield is definitely longer from here. Yep, and we're just gonna keep checking the map every 15 seconds until I stop being nervous that I've turned us in the wrong direction. The main benefit of the new locomotive, aside from the fact that it is tougher, is that it has an extra support slot and we'll be able to mount another thing on it. I don't know if we want a drill necessarily, although... Oh, scream of train whistles in the distance. Marauders embarking on a raid. I'll fight some marauders. I'm not afraid of them. Is that a marauder over there? I'll fight him right now. That is, in fact, a marauder right there. Oh god, what a shot. He led me perfectly. He knew exactly what I was going to do there. Alright, so we're going to be a little bit careful here because of the fact that there's two of them. It's going to be a lot harder to find times when neither of them can shoot at me. Aha! It takes a remarkably long time for the train to go from not moving to moving. It's like when I spin around and do this thing, the reason it seems like I sort of hang there for a moment, I am holding W again already. It just doesn't really work that way. Yeah, okay. So that was pretty good, because we can take hull patching off of one of these two, and then just loot the other one. Definitely come out ahead. I guess I'm 1 point of hull underneath maximum. What have we found here? Okay, a barrel of unseasoned hours. Lustrous saltine crystals of ground hours, mined and refined for commercial use. This is the final product of London's greatest and most precious enterprise. Sure, that's a useful thing to have. I will say that I've been a little bit disappointed in the canning tools. I feel like we saw a bunch of clouds of eels before we got the ability to interact with them, and since then we've only seen like, what, 3 maybe? I don't like it here, an engineer complains. Yeah. If you don't like it here, wait till you see where we're going. So a bunch of the people we have on board now were not on board last time we tried to go to Hybras. They don't have any idea what they're in for. Also, this far out, I'm a little nervous about fuel and supplies being 2 and 2. Like, if Hybris doesn't have any supplies or fuel, we might find ourselves in kind of an awkward spot. Yeah, like, from Hybris to any other civilization is really quite a long way. Well, I guess we'll just cross our fingers and hope. I mean, when we get to Hybris, we're going to make quite a bit of money, right? We have a bunch of stuff we need to do there. Actually, No, we have a bunch of stuff we need to do that involves visiting Hybras, but we won't actually get paid for most of it until we get back to other places. Well, we have a bunch of money. We can afford to buy as many supplies and fuel crates as they will let us take. Certainly more than we could actually carry. God is way. Are we close? We're kind of close. This is about where we saw the spinster last time, right? I am definitely in not fighting full-on retreat mode until we at least dock. After we dock, when we're on our way back out, then maybe we'll fight. Oh god, it's so gross here. Fungus covers this place like a blanket, like a really gross blanket. Pallid white and angry red, and just it looks like teeth and ugh. Alright, this character's actually never been to Hybras before. Remember, last time we were here, it was with the first character, who died horribly. A fledgling colony trying to dig its fingernails deep enough into the spongy, fungal fabric of the Reach to cling on when hard times come. It is a sad truth that many more settlements are founded than flourish. We definitely have read this text before. Let's take a little shore leave, shall we? So, the crew requests a little R&R. They follow you out into what passes for a meadow, between livid mushrooms and oozing polyps. The silence of the place hangs heavily on you. Some of the crew attempt to break it with a ballad of the promised days. Well, we could definitely drop terror. We could forage for mushrooms. Or search for bronzewood splinters. So this would be supplies, I think. 70% chance of success? Yeah, let's go for it. Nope. 70% is not 100%, sadly. Forbidden colors wash past your eyes. The crew holds your shoulders as you throw up every meal you ever ate and then a few more for good measure. Well, at least you didn't fill a crate with those mushrooms. Better to be ill here than for the whole crew to go down with poisoning mid-journey. Yeah, I suppose, but given the choice, I'd take neither. Hybras Deserted. The colonists' houses are dark and there is no sign of a soul about. There were people here last time we were here, weren't there? Colonists' houses are dark and there's no sign of a soul about. The smithy is empty. No smoke comes from the Brendan's chimneys. The fretwork on the town hall remains unfinished. A bee, laced with curling fronds, flies by. Its drone the only sound in Hybras. It's a drone. Well, I mean, we should definitely scavenge the abandoned settlement for fuel and supplies. 2 terror, but 3 fuel and 1 supplies. That's a good trade-off. Be warned, now it is deserted, you will no longer be able to purchase fuel or supplies at Hybras. Plan your journeys carefully. The silence unsettles your crew, but in musty lofts and dank attics, in coal scuttles and log stores and pantries, you find enough to burn, abandoned magician's props, and eat to, with a little luck, secure a return journey. Okay. Where is everyone? The pernickety factor is alarmed. This is very disagreeable. I was expecting to find people here. Disappearing like this is extremely rude. I actually agree. You split up and make a quick circuit of the village. You discover tables laid out for dinner, cold tea still in Fairnance's pot, the notes, in large print, half written for the mayor's council meeting, laid out on his desk. Abandoned bowls bob forlornly in the shallows of the marsh. You find the pernickety factor near the station. She holds up a muddy tarot card. 10 of cats. How peculiar. Let's keep looking. We are on the trail of these vanished colonists, and we are gaining terror all the time. How terrible. The colonists' houses are dark, and there's no sign of a soul about. Yeah, we see this. Well, we're very good at mirrors. Let's search for Madame Lumiere. A filmmaker should be difficult to miss in this hushed, secluded place. Something tells me she's not going to be around. Loud curses lead you toward an elderly woman fiddling with an antiquated camera. She sighs and shuts the frame. That'll do. She offers a trembling hand. Lumiere. Once a renowned explorer and filmmaker, now, as you see. A cough rattles through her. You're from New Winchester. I'll leave with you. I can pay my way. I'm done here, and my lungs won't tolerate much more of this. She smiles wanly. I've got a premiere to plan. Okay, well, your Madame Lumiere quality is now 1. We have 1 of those. Okay, well, remarkably, she was here. I guess it wasn't as quiet as the text led us to believe. Let's quickly collect a sample of pus, just in case we have to leave in a real hurry. The difficulty in collecting samples isn't in having to climb to some remote peak or fighting off creatures who are all teeth and claws. It's in abiding the smell. Yeah, that's... Pus is one of those words that you can, like, when you say it, you can just sort of smell the word, right? I don't know that there's a word in the English language that is more effective at communicating the thing that it is. Well, I suppose we should write a report about this. Somebody's going to want to know what's happening here. The station master professes ignorance. His manner has not improved in the absence of everyone else. There are new shades to the fungus: indigo, crimson, jet. Trees have taken on a new, pallid hue. Spores cloud the air. The silence is almost restful. Yeah, I would find this very unsettling, personally. Well, let's search the colony, I suppose. Surely there must be some clues somewhere. In fact, I know ahead of time that there will be, because I can see the 100%. The marshes are wild, the spores unswept. Laundry sits in piles in the wash-house. Several shirts abandoned in the mangle. The town hall has been set up for a show. A broken mirror sits on the stage. You find an abandoned set of tarot cards before a gold-framed mirror. A playbill for a Marzipan and Hallow, the Wondrous Wizards of Glass, has been discarded among the slough of pillows. The pernickety factor makes a face. I hate to suggest it, but Pulmere and Plenties might be able to shed some light here. They have a magician. Oh, yeah, okay, they do have a magician. Are we thinking that would be helpful? Well, I guess let's wander around a little bit. This is probably a good idea. You wade through the boggy marshes around Hybras, disturbed only by the occasional drone of a dying bee. Smoke still pours from the station master's chimney, but he's not inclined to leave his cottage. You stumble over a few discarded bowls and a number of old footprints heading toward the fungal forest. But the whole town just wander off. Maybe they got cordyceps. Well, I suppose let's just leave then, shall we? Remarkably, there's a captain selling used armaments. Okay, I'll take those. May as well, right? Looks like we're probably just headed back home. So, did we have anything else that needed doing here? I don't think so, right? Yep, she promised to leave New Winchester for good. Okay. Yeah, I guess that was all we needed. Making sure we got all the experiments. That's still a problem, but it's not a problem for this. Okay. Alright, well, I guess let's head back to the circus. I am gratified to have not seen another Scribe Spinster, and I think we'll just hold on to that luck. So if we're going back to the circus, I guess it doesn't really matter. Both of the ways out deposit us pretty nearby. We have so much fuel and so many supplies that it might be worth exploring this way a little bit, just to map it out, you know. We'll get over there and we'll send the cavi out, see if he detects anything. But I'm definitely not worried about being able to make the return trip now. Of course, we gotta expect that we'll never be able to do that again. I would like to think that when we loot a place, we are pretty thorough. Yeah, that's very unsettling, what just happened. Or rather, what didn't just happen. I'm a little concerned that we're going to go talk to this magician, and he's going to be like... Well, I have two concerns. Number one is, we're going to talk to this magician, he's going to have no idea what happened, because of course, why would he have any idea what happened? And then we're never going to find out. Or number two, perhaps more concerning, he will have some idea, and will have to come back. Not a big fan of either of them, frankly. So what do I want him to say? I guess maybe we get over there and he's like, Hybris, that's definitely just imaginary. Boy, you've been in the sky too long. And it turns out Hybris was never real. It was all just a bad dream we were having. But now we're awake and nobody will ever bother us again. And hey, look, they've brought fresh biscuits. And you can just imagine that being whichever kind of biscuit you like most. Alright, engineer, we're leaving. We're leaving. Alright, show me something good, Cavi. Wait, what is the new... did we... I guess, yeah, we must not have already known about that. Kind of curious. Does it just make a wall, or is there actually a route here? Oh, looks like we can go deeper. Once we're at Polmere and Plenty's, it's not too hard to get back to New Winchester. So I'm not too stressed about our supplies. I am a little stressed about the sounds I'm hearing. One more search. Wait, what is that? There's a transit relay over there. How could there be a transit relay over there? I think we're just, like, constantly gaining terror at actually quite a rate, as long as we're out here. Crew doesn't like it any better than I do. Oh, wait. Maybe we can't access that transit relay from here? We might be cutting it a little close on supplies. I imagine we actually do burn supplies faster with more crew. Maybe we had to enter from here. Okay. Well, what exactly is going on there is a thing that I have some significant interest in, but it sounds like a real, not right now sort of problem, given the amount of food we have left. Let's head down to Polmere and Plenty's, see if they've got any supplies for sale, and if they do, maybe we'll head up and try to figure it out, and if not, we'll just head back to New Winchester. I think we ought to be okay. Not that this is how I'm hoping things will go, but, you know, 16 crew on board. If the supplies do run out, at least the larder's stocked with long pig. What I'm saying is probably I will survive. I bet that the event where we get to talk to other captains and lower our terror will not have respawned yet. So probably we're going to have to just deal with all this. This is not enough, I think, for there to be a lot of consequences yet. Sorta... Yeah, right. That's fine. What I was going to say there is I sort of don't want to fight because I'm concerned about wasting time with the supply shortage. Oh, that didn't work. Come on. I was hoping he would shoot. Because they often stop moving for a little while after they shoot. Or stop turning, at least. For a little while after they shoot. Yeah, like that. Alright, what have you. Well, raiding the safe seems like a bad call. Let's explore the captain's cabin. Probably just rumors? Yep, okay. We don't really have need of those. You know, not that they're useless, but we certainly have enough. Kinda hoping we might be able to search for some supplies. I probably should have taken the small amount of sovereigns. Yeah, we are definitely pushing it on supplies. I maybe shouldn't have stopped to fight. Didn't take very long, at least. Alright, so we have a lot of business in the southern part of the Reach. And then once we're done with that... Oh, I want to turn. Once we're done with that, it might be time to leave the Reach. I think we've done a lot of what there is to be done here. We resolved the Winchester War and everything, or at least for the moment. Maybe time to head to Albion. It's true, we do have little food left. Oh wait, the dock's up there. Got a little confused as to what part of the thing I was at. Alright, tell me you guys have some supplies for sale. Please, please, please. Oh, thank God. Alright. Well, we're buying a bunch. Okay, turns out everything's fine. They don't want anything from us. Well, of course you don't have to pay. You're part of the family. I'll take some free tickets to the circus. Why not? Alright, let's take in a performance. Let's hang out, you know, do some stuff, clear some terror, the old-fashioned way. The tent is half full, as captains with nothing better to offer their crews have stopped in for a brief respite. The ringmaster gives his introduction and the acts begin. Is this any... Aha! A lot of this is not different, but... The strong woman asks the crowd if they've brought anything for her to lift. They cheer as a group of 10 attendees struggle to wheel out a wagon full of crates and barrels. Not only does she lift them all in turn, she overturns the wagon single-handedly at the end to rapturous applause. Hey, we really are improving things here. We gained a sky story, we did not get a vision of the heavens, unremarkably. And the ringmaster might care for a word. That's interesting. Well, let's visit the amusements first. I love amusements. Our terror has reduced. Okay, so yeah, nothing new here. Alright, let's go say hey. We will talk to the magician in a moment. Okay, so this is the same text we saw before. Okay, no. That was just a hint for you to go and pick up one of the quests. Okay. The performers' tents crackle with a new energy. There are more tents erected around the big top than usual to accommodate the newly arrived guests. Alright, let's ask our man here about Hybras. You know anything? The humiliated magician sighs as he inspects your playbill. That pair of rogues. It would be an insult to chicanery everywhere to call them charlatans. His shoulders sink. And I would know. He stands and walks over to a cabinet in the far corner of his caravan. He opens a small drawer and produces a slim, heart-shaped key. There's a locked suitcase in my old house on Port Prosper. It has a red door near the station. If you could fetch that for me, I should be able to help you. It has all my old paraphernalia. Okay, well, it turns out we're going to have to go to Port Prosper more than one more time. Let's head back to the main circus. I'm going to go to the amusements again. Just as many times as I am allowed. I guess I only have one ticket left. Okay. Grubby urchin's nowhere to be seen. We can just move on here. So we're no longer in danger. But we're going down to like Trader's Wood and Leadbeater and Stainrods anyway. We may as well swing through New Winchester on the way. But yeah, I want to go down to the nature reserve. Or, what's it called? The camp here. Somerset camp. And put our extremely large number of crew to use. And this is the thing we'll actually be better at now than we would be after changing trains. Honestly, what am I going to do at New Winchester anyway? We'll go past Victory Hall, and we'll turn in the port reports, so that if we end up in the north, we can get them again. But yeah, if this is something I want to do before I change trains, probably we don't actually need to go to New Winchester. I think we should be okay on fuel and supplies. Making me so nervous right now. Oh good, he's going the same direction we are. Keep my hand on the dodge button the entire way down the alley here. I don't know what it is about this game that makes it so hard for me to remember that, like, the dodge buttons are train relative. Or rather, I remember that the dodge buttons are train relative, but I have a hard time remembering what direction they'll actually take me as I'm, like, spinning around in space. Not that that's not a complex, or not that that's not a difficult thing. I know that some people have trouble with that stuff, but usually I don't at games. I can usually, you know, remember what does what, which direction things will go. All right, let's turn in our port reports. This is what, 200 gold, 100 sovereigns. We're back above 2K. It should not be too much longer before we can swap up to the next engine, which I am very excited about. And we may as well, on the way over there, swing past Port Avon, right? We have more than enough secrets to make sure that we are as welcome as we wish to be. And who knows, maybe they'll have some weird stuff for sale, maybe a bunch of panes of glass. Oh, I suppose I'm carrying a bunch of garbage, aren't I, for the purpose of selling it at New Winchester. Yeah, let's take care of that. Because we don't have a prospect that cares about munitions now. We could keep one trait to trade up to Bronzewood. That's a thing that might be available to us. We sure do visit New Winchester an awful lot. Alright, if we drop off Madame Lumiere here... Wow, really? Only 100 sovereigns. She gives you a brisk handshake as she departs your locomotive. Better accommodation than I'm used to. Now I have a premiere to plan. You're invited, of course. It'll be next week, assuming I haven't keeled over. She bustles off into the smog of New Winchester. Your quartermaster complains it's going to take weeks to get the spores out of her berth. You've gained 100 sovereigns. Your day of the premiere quality is now 249. Has it been that many days already? We could repair our locomotive. Pay 3 sovereigns to top the hull off. May as well. 3 sovereigns is an amount that we won't even notice missing. And then we're going to go down to... So the ironwood would sell at, or the bronzewood rather, would sell at 175. You know what? We see the option to trade a crate of munitions for ironwood or bronzewood often enough that I will keep one. But just the one, because I want to free up some hold space. We could sell off our hours here as well, right? We don't actually need hours for anything at the moment, I don't think. We can afford to do that. And then we may as well top up a little bit. Okay, now, onward. I think we want to go this way to get to Port Avon as effectively as possible. Yeah, it's all sort of awkward. You would think, given that we are in a space train, that we could just, like, go up and over some of these landmasses. But apparently everybody is forced to fly at the same altitude. It's like Rebel Galaxy. Listen, it's just the laws of physics. Space is a series of flat planes, and it's very, very fuel expensive to transfer between them. We have not been seeing a lot of that hitching lately. I'd sort of forgotten it was an issue. So at this point, I'm feeling, like, pretty capable. I'm hopeful that whatever checks we need to make down there in the wood, we can make. The fact that we have so many crew members probably will give us a pretty significant advantage, or at least I hope will give us a pretty significant advantage. Because I'd really like to know exactly what the deal is with this king that the lieutenant commander was talking about. And it seems like resolving a riddle of this magnitude might award us with one of the powerful types of information that we are still seeking. I don't even remember what the thing we're looking for now is called. Alright, a quiet day in Port Avon. Yeah, sure, I'll buy the cheap fuel. Cheap fuel is nice. Definitely write a report. And I don't actually know where we are on our welcome. Their bazaar is selling souls. One of our prospects is to take souls somewhere, right? Prosper? We're heading to Port Prosper in the near future. But if we take these now, we won't be able to carry anything we find at the woods. Although, you know, by then we will have spent some fuel. Oh, I forgot to bank our bat. He's just sitting here taking up space. Well, obviously I'm not going to go back at this point. Yeah, I'm not going to pick up anything right now. So, let's head over to the ruins. Success here will gain us a vision of the heavens. What was it that we needed? It's these. I need a moment of inspiration. Also, we have a condemned experiment now. I can't remember exactly what it was that Mr. Menagerie wanted for the Retronaut. I'm gonna leave him here, because even if I could afford the Retronaut, I don't have space to keep him, or... We'll come back when we have more space. Except that I do want to roll the dice on the ruins. Yeah. Because we don't actually know what happens if we pass this check, right? I guess probably we would get souls. Yeah, never mind. I don't care. We got our port report. Let's just keep moving. Port report and a bunch of cheap fuel. Alright, then my plan is to go from this place in the Trader's Wood over to Leadbeater and Stainrods. I mean, we'll swing through Titania because we almost can't not. But I'd love to go out the southern side of the Somerset Expedition site and move around from there, because there's still the matter of the Incautious Driver's Well that is said to be south of New Winchester that we haven't found. There's not a whole lot of territory left that qualifies as south of New Winchester, right? It basically has to be down here by the camp. I would say even the camp is too far west to really qualify as just being south anymore. But like this area is maybe what we're looking for. Once we're past the camp and down there a little bit, we can, ooh, hey! Heals. Yeah, once we're past the camp, we can, send the cavi out a little bit, especially now that we just got an extra crate of supplies. Just bribe him with some fresh eel. Who wouldn't want to put that in their mouths on purpose? Oh, you know what? It takes supplies and fuel to do the expedition, too, doesn't it? So I guess we'll have a lot of open cargo space. Rat Brigade salutes. We'll look after the engine if you go into the woods, Captain. What brave little soldiers you are. And listen, I get it. If my curiosity hadn't overwhelmed my sense of self-preservation, I would be eager to do the same. So we want to go into... Is it in the camp where we were write our report? No, it is not. A respite from labor. The distinguished retailers Ravenskirt and Stamford operate a small logging outpost in Trader's Wood. Hours are long and employment is precarious. Very seldom do the woodcutters and charcoal burners get a day off. But today is one of those rare occasions. Well, I am not in fact going to offer anyone stable employment, but we might come back here and do that after we send our crew into the woods. Here we go. Here's the report. The great forest of bronzewood trees has gone untouched by human hands. Voices sound in the deep of the woods, forlorn and far away. The wood is vast, and vastly lonely. Alright, yeah, so this is just the glade. That's not very interesting. Let us, first of all... Okay, so they are selling supplies here. We could get more supplies if we need them. They would love it if I would bring them some literature, and man, they are really paying for that. Holy crap. Alright, good to know that that price is so extremely high. So we may gain verdant seeds. Okay. I can't remember which part of this thing was, I guess, probably the part that says expeditions into the wood. Okay, so bring a large expedition. Every able body willing. You risk more crew, but lower the chance of failure. So you unlock this with 16 crew because you needed 10. So we can run the locomotive safely on 6 crew, but if we end up losing all 10 of these dudes, which I think is possible, we can at least go and hire. So yeah, 2 fuel, 2 supplies, and 10 crew. Actually things we could afford to lose. You're a little short-handed. You hold on now. I may be a little short-handed. Let's see how this turns out. A sizable contingent of your crew volunteers to follow you into the wood. Anything to get off this train, huh? Packs are hoisted onto shoulders, rations divided and sensibly stored in little tubs. "We're with you, Captain," a stout signaler tells you. You must decide what your expedition's destination is. Expeditions for outlandish artifacts are easier than for Bronzewood. Occasionally, a quest will require you to choose a unique destination. Somerset College has until recently funded expeditions into the forest. Yeah, I remember that. If you leave while you have crew embarked on an expedition, they will not be available until you complete the expedition. Okay, so we can prepare for an expedition to the Steward's Font, which will provide clues to the identity of the king in the Regent's grave. It is of moderate difficulty. We could look for otherworldly artifacts or Bronzewood, neither of which I particularly care about. Yeah, let's do this. I want to know where Percy Blythe went. The Palewood. The scholars share, individually, what they know. Their transcriptions of the correspondence differ significantly, and they refuse to work together on a single translation. Still, it should be enough to get you to the general area of the font. You gather your crew and make for the edge of the Whispering Wood. The scholars emerge from their tents to wave you off. Yeah, don't strain yourselves. You emerge into a field of purple flowers, bright as new bruises. "Captain," the stoker's voice is anxious. Can you hear them?" Something whispers from beneath the petals. Well, we could bail. We could listen to the voices, which we are extremely good at, or plug your ears to shut out the sound and rally the crew to stop them listening. Let's listen to the voices. I think our character has engaged in a little bit of voice listening from time to time, and look where we are now. The Trader's Choristers. The scent of the flowers is sweet but sour, like that of rotten raspberries. The smell overpowers your nostrils as the voices overwhelm your ears, filling them with a constant babble. Your crew join you in the long grass, wandering through the cacophony of flowers. Petals open tiny mouths. They whisper directions, but only half in a language you speak. They tell you of groves and graves, the treacheries which happened, the defiance, the kingdom overthrown. Eventually, they even tell you the way to leave. Okay, that's unsettling, but not so much that I'm going to be driven off. Long shadows move through the silver trees ahead. There's a mournful howl. "Someone sounds hungry," a stoker tries to joke. A low growling comes from behind you. "The beasts have your scent." Well, we have pretty reasonable iron at this point, in no small part due to our officers, so let's roll the dice. You exhort your crew to stand their ground. Grotesque beasts, mockeries of earthly animals, emerge from the tree line. Their pelts are ragged and mangled with exposed inner organs. Their tusks curve cruelly. It is impossible to avoid thoughts of disembowelment. Each stares as if famished. You do not give an inch. You sound the first barrage, then the second, and the third. The trees trap the smoke. Your crew coughs and chokes. But the beast's blood flows freely. The beast's howls are discordants. You stop your ears and bring them down, one by miserable one. Oh hey, we gained an uncanny specimen. This sounds like something from Annihilation. Tree line parts ahead. Below the thundering white water, a cave is visible, just under the lip of the rock. You scale down the wet rock face and into the cave. It is several moments before your eyes adjust to the light. The cavern is not natural. The walls are covered with bronzewood and studded with Navarentine gemstones, driven in too deep to remove. That was indeed my first thought. Can we take those? Distant starlight from the cave mouth reflects off the stones, filling the cave with radiance. Towards the back of the cave you find a silver seal the size of a crown and a curved crescent blade. Correspondence is scored on the blade's battered metal. It is too large to move, but you record the sigils. Perhaps one of the scholars will be able to translate. And, of course, you take the seal. Anything that's not nailed down, right? Alright, well... The classicist is the one who seems most likely to be competent at translation, right? Yeah, I guess let's go there. Let us choose her to help translate the sigils on the scythe from the steward's font. We'll only be able to consult one scholar, and they do not share their findings with rivals and guard their research jealously. I think it's her. I think she's wrong, obviously, about who is buried in the place. I think they're all wrong, but she seems the most competent. The giggling place. She snatches the paper from your hands. A moment later, she laughs. It's a gift. An office of some kind. Ceremonial, no doubt. The kings of Sumeria gave out offices to their favorites, usually at religious observances, just as their office came from the Queen of Heaven and the rest. She pauses. She goes for pen and paper. By the time she has finished, she looks concerned. I've never heard of this particular office. Tamer of the King's Bower. There's also a reference to the giggling place and directions. I'll mark it on your map. Okay, well, we could indeed take an expedition to the giggling place. I'm a little low on fuel now, though. So hold on. Perhaps not. We definitely want to buy some more supplies. But if I'm going to need fuel every time, we might not be able to do the next one right now. Yeah, ooh, wow, okay. And it's always going to be 2 fuel no matter how many people I take. Yeah, I don't really want to go down to 1.5 crates of barrels of fuel. That's a heavy cost, man. No, I don't think we can do that. All right, let's keep moving. And we got some good stuff done here. We figured out some things. We gained some stuff that I don't necessarily really have immediate value for. And Port Avon's right there. But we probably will not be able to get cheap fuel at Port Avon again, and I do want to explore a little further. Yeah, let's not go down to 1 barrel of fuel. So we'll get out here beyond the reach of any space we've explored before, and send out the cavvy. Okay, there's some sort of terrible horror in there. Honestly, could be the well. It'd be hard to know that it wasn't. This will be the way into that horror. I mean, I'm sort of curious. Interesting. He said he'd found something, but it doesn't look like he has. Alright, maybe this is inadvisable, but I am awfully curious. We can just run away as well. Don't, in case we see anything, don't think we have to go in there. Oh, you know what? Maybe this doesn't go in there at all. Alright, I'm going to send the cavvy out one more time. It might be that he just... Oh, chores for bees. Oh, God. Okay, kind of a lot of them, too. You know, I don't know that I don't think we got the awareness thing. They might not... Yeah, they don't know that we're here yet, even though I fired at them, because they're not very attentive. Alright, well, let's go around the outside of this. God, I hate bees. Maybe even around the outside of that? Ugh. I'm missing stuff all over the place. Oh, God. This is bad. Something down there is firing an actual weapon. Yeah, we could deploy the canning equipment. I don't need a sky story. And last time we did this, it was not a lot of sovereigns, right? Yeah, once the parts are separated, your cook is able to scoop rich jelly from beneath the carapace. Oh, good. Let's definitely consume that on purpose. Swarm of bees, remarkably difficult to shoot with weapons. Oh my god, they split up. Did you see that move? They split up and just went around the big shell. I am so bad with this gun. Well, I mean, we have to go this way. If we're looking for the well, this is the way the well might be. I'm definitely seeing what looks like projectiles, like fire. No, I guess not. I guess it's just stuff in the air. Alright, let's try to go around the outside of this, because I want to stay as far from those bees as possible. Anyway, we're certainly not short supplies. We can send the scout out. It insists its report cannot wait. There is, in fact, a wonder. Also, a dead end here, it looks like. Alright, well, I'm very interested in seeing a wonder. We're just going to have to fly through bee country, unfortunately. We don't have time to mess around a whole lot more. I would be very disappointed if we died at this point. We really do need better weapons. The weapons we have now are all well and good for fighting like marauders and cantankery, but some of the threats we've faced are a little bit more dangerous than that. The Regent's tears, a crewman cries. The rest of the crew crowd to the windows, eager for a glance. Oh. I'm collecting your honey. Haha. They sing of a well and the unpleasant fate of the one who gave them voices. Yeah, a devil would speak bee. That makes sense. Unwise? I don't know, maybe. Yo, this is so many bees, though. Is that what this whole area is? It's just bees? I'm taking your honey. Oh, God. Them turning me like that really sucks, actually. The good news is they don't actually hit very hard when they do hit. But I don't want to be here anymore. Okay, we're just running. Oh, God, it is so many bees. Okay, seems like the bees are fighting each other. Peacock wind. Fruit ripens in your hold. Wow. Wild. Crew does not care for this wind. That is a star-maddened explorer. A little bit tougher than a Reach Marauder, remember, but also seems to be stuck. Okay, wait, we're gonna turn. Ooh, okay. That's another star-maddened explorer. Ow. Please, please, please let me loot his ship for hull. Nope. Loot the hold. An intriguingly bulging sack. How pleasingly it rattles. Okay, there were some souls in there. That's cool. I don't really want to fight another explorer. Okay, we need to go up around here. Maybe he will have wandered far enough away that we can just sneak past without alerting him. I wasn't planning to come all the way out to the wreck of the Parzival, but I also thought we'd be able to, oh, God. Well, he's aware. Oh, come on! I really thought I was going to be clear there. That was one of those ones where, like, the angle was tight enough that if we had dodged to the side, I probably would have gotten away, but I thought we were clean. These guys up as I go past. Okay. We're in some significant danger here. That's a Reach Marauder, who we could totally fight successfully. We gotta, oh man, but if I try to go to Titania, I'm just gonna get mobbed by bees again. It's bad. It's a bad time right now. We're having a terrible time right now. Reach Marauders. Okay. If we can fight the Reach Marauders successfully, We usually can get some hull out of it. Oh, I'm gonna... my plan was to swing through this, this field of luggage and hope that it is some of the hull luggage that we sometimes get, but... Yes, alright. Definitely a little bit nervous about the number of Reach Marauders around it. Oh god, peace, dudes. Okay, I dodged quite unnecessarily. But I think I dodged in the right direction, so that's something. You know, you gotta take the little victories. This is a route inward. I mean, we have to go, right? I really like the idea of fighting a couple of these guys. Like, I know we're low on fuel, but sometimes we get fuel from them. Ah, almost. Come on, come on, come on. Ah, just barely managed to not collide with the land there. Yes, strip the engine for materials immediately. Alright, good. That is what I wanted. Alright, let us explore the captain's cabin, or... No, let's just take the sovereigns. We know what we're going to get from the captain's cabin, and I don't value it at all. This may just take us to the horror, but again, the horror could be the well, right? Definitely feeling a little desperate on fuel. Oh, there's something up here. God, I hope it's a bunch of luggage full of fuel. 2 barrels of fuel. Wow, his shot knocked me backwards so hard there. Oh, cool. That was nice of him. Yeah, I guess we'll just scavenge for parts. Really use some fuel, but I am feeling, you know, we're in better shape here. Gideon's Bronze. Were these ruins beautiful once, or were they always unsettling and eerie? You know, eerie is, sometimes something you bring with you. We're really low on fuel. We're also not that far from Titania. Well, I certainly don't see anything that qualifies as a well so far. We're gonna have to see the horror. You're near the heart of the wood, silent and solemn. Scared the hell out of me. Oh! The Regent's grave. What, we just found it? The heart of the forest, a great barrow built from ancient stone stands. Gates of star-forged bronze block the entrance. Okay, something is whispering from the other side. This, 24. Yeah, sure. Force open the gate. Let's see if we can do that. See if that's a thing. The gates will not budge. The metal scrapes and screams against the rock, and your arms strain with the effort, but the gate holds fast. The whispering increases in volume from the darkness, but fades away as it becomes apparent you won't succeed. Inlaid in the metal of the gate are 3 hollows, the shape of seals. You can see no sign of any such object nearby. Okay. So we're gonna have to find some things. Go away. Far away. I mean, whatever's in here is south of New Winchester as well. What is that? That is gross. That looks like a gross thing that's happening over there. We could try to just... Oh, God. Dodge. Nope. Can't dodge in the direction I would need to there. Okay, so we need to go... I actually used my weapons there to slow myself down so that I wouldn't just slam into him. He's so close to dead. Ow. Okay, that's more or less what I was hoping would happen. I will admit, I dodged the wrong way again. Oh my god, just die! Jesus. Okay, we gained an uncanny specimen. And now the running. Now we commence with the running. Okay, that's gonna miss. Okay, not even get to us. Yeah, it would be a lot easier to fight Scribe Spinsters if we ever found them alone. Boy, if they don't have fuel for sale at Titania, we're in dire shape here. Honestly. We might be in kind of dire shape either way. Careful, Captain, a junior signaler says. I've lost friends to the marauders who hide in these woods. Yeah? The ones who hide? What about all these other ones? Who just sort of sail around in the open with their headlights on at all times. Alright, here's hoping that Titania is not currently surrounded by bees. Not that we would definitely die, but it would be closer than I would like. If we had to... no, I don't think we could make it to Leadbeater and Stainrods. Now we need a point of fuel pretty badly. Okay, bees, not a big surprise, I suppose. I hate space bees. I hate all bees, but I hate space bees more than most, which is really saying something, because I got strong feelings in general. Ooh. Please, please, please. Dodge. Oh, boy, that's annoying. The game hitching really badly as I'm trying to dodge something is very frustrating. Okay, we might die. Let's attend an art exhibition. Titania's largest petal hums with activity. The melancholy poet, rhapsodic mayor, and stone-faced sculptor have brought their best students together to showcase their work. Why can I not do this? Oh, I don't have a visitor on board, I guess. Let us attend their expedition. You spend several pleasant hours surrounded by art, much of it painted with pigments sourced from the Reach's unique flora and inspired by the lingering threat of chorister bees. Once the visitors have moved away, however, they immediately launch into lengthy diatribes on the many ways they could have done better. Well... oh, man. Okay. Port report. Absolutely. You guys still want panes of glass, of course. Oh, fuel and supplies. Just wonderful. Just absolutely wonderful. No way to repair the ship. But one problem at a time. If we get chased by bees as we're out of here, we're just doomed. There's no way to dodge their charge, because the horde comes at you wide enough that they'll still hit us, I think, if we go to either side. So if we basically lose the bees as we're leaving the port, we're cool, and... as long as there's no other bees nearby. And if not, this character's just dead, I think. A veiled pavilion rests in the curve of one of Titania's great petals. Here, the melancholy poet gathers stories from skyfarers. She then arranges to pass them on to any artist or writer willing to pay for inspiration to spur their brush or steer their pen. Well, it turns out I do have a lot of sky stories. Ooh, a captivating treasure. So we're definitely not into donating a moment of inspiration. But I don't know that we actually need Visions of the Heavens very much. We have 2. I am 7,000 experience away from a level up. How many sky stories do I have? It's like it's a really large number. Well, we can make some okay money. Decent strong. We make some okay money here. Ah, Captain, perhaps you can help us settle a little matter. Ah, yes, they still want to know about what type of architecture to use in the city, but we've not been anywhere, so we can't tell them anything. Well, I think with that, maybe we're just gonna call it here for today. I am terrified to leave the port. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time when maybe we die. It's entirely possible we die. And we'll see you then.